Cory Holcomb had another crash out during the 5150 show. And this has a lot to do with the lead attorney. Now, the lead attorney eventually responded to Cory Holcomb's false accusations. He said that the lead attorney had no business saying he had permission to speak to his lawyer, Derek Dion. And he called the lead attorney many discriminating names, the lead in the Negro behind law, in other words, saying that lead attorney was gay, which really had nothing to do with the conversation at all. Really talking about somebody's sexuality or speculating about it has nothing to do with someone's open criticism of you. But it's okay. The lead attorney came out and produced evidence that Mr. Derek Dion, the attorney, was not telling the truth. And we're going to go over that by his own admission. So instead of Cory Holcomb dealing with the facts, he came on with his brother Derek Dion to create some straw man arguments. Now, again, I don't dislike Derek Dion as an attorney. I don't know him. He seems like a very smart brother. He went to Texas Southern School of Law. He's out in Houston. He's doing his thing. He has successful practice. And I'm glad that we have somebody from our community who's doing some great things. So I want to take my time out to give a big salute to attorney Derek Dion. However, it doesn't mean that he didn't make a mistake, and it doesn't mean that I won't make a mistake. Just because you're professional, it doesn't mean that you don't make mistakes. And ultimately, he made a mistake, in my honest opinion, by coming on to the broadcast and talking about this with Cory Holcomb. And the first thing that they do is literally dox the lead attorney.
Membership, Rachel speaking.
Yes, Rachel. My name is attorney Derek Dion. I'm an attorney licensed down here in Houston, Texas. And I wanted to refer one of my friends to a divorce attorney in Atlanta, but I wanted to check his membership status first.
Okay, what's the name?
His name is Cory with a sample, C-A-M.
Okay, Mr. is currently on inactive status.
Y'all heard that shit?
So this is Derek Dion calling the Atlanta law, I don't know if it's an agency or whatever, whoever checks out the lawyer's active license. The license is inactive. So first of all, what they're trying to prove is that the lead attorney is not a real attorney or he's not an active attorney, which doesn't really matter because the lead attorney is not on trial here. Cory Holcomb had to obtain some level of legal counsel. The lead attorney did not. And that's important to know here. Did the lead attorney go to University of Georgia School of Law? Yes. Did he graduate? Yes. Did he have a career of 20 years? Yes. So if his license is inactive, what does that mean? Okay. He was not threatening to sue Cory Holcomb. He was not giving Cory Holcomb any direct legal advice. He was not acting as his attorney. He was basically giving educated opinion from a lawyer's background. Okay. And that's the problem that Cory Holcomb had. But let's get more into it.
I want to talk directly to lead attorney. You know, when he first reached out to me, he reached out to me as a comrade, a brother, and a friend. And, you know, I trusted this guy. I never thought that he would use me for content. See, I'm a real trial lawyer. I'm not a YouTube lawyer. I don't understand how this whole content works. If you look at my YouTube page, I have 2 subscribers. He has 600,000.
Yeah.
Now, when he first reached out to me, I didn't know that he had a relationship with Cory at first. I didn't know he was on Cory's show. So he really was backdooring Cory to try to get me on his show to do this interview. And we'll get to the whole part of whether Cory gave me consent or not at the end of this.
Now here, Derek Dion is talking about the fact that the lead attorney reached out to him, and the lead attorney did agree that he wanted to reach out to him because he felt that Cory Holcomb was getting a raw deal. Now, was it wrong that Christina Payne was mushed in the face? Absolutely. But his whole idea was to bring Cory onto the show, or bring Derek Dion onto the show, and talk a little bit about what happened. And because again, Cory Holcomb is getting a raw deal. So the lead attorney is like, well, listen, let me kind of help Cory. It'll be an interesting show. It could change some minds. That was the reality of it all, okay? But that is not what happened, right?
So my private investigator found out that his real name was Campbell, and I reached out to the state bar and his license is inactive.
Derek Dion is saying that he was insulted on the lead attorney stream. I didn't hear that. When I heard it, I listened to the video. I don't feel like he was insulted at all. But here he's doxing the lead attorney. When the reality is, if Cory Holcomb wouldn't have lied and then called the lead attorney all of these names, these offensive names, then he wouldn't have needed to basically expose the information of the truth, okay? And so that's what he did. But now he's trying to put out the lead attorney's professional name and then mention the fact that his license is suspended, which to me doesn't matter because the lead attorney's license is not on trial here. That's not on trial. His name, his professional name, is not on trial. He is not a practicing attorney in the state of Georgia right now. So that wasn't the intention. The intention was to get Derek Dion on to the show, and this was supposed to basically help Cory as much as possible. However, Derek Dion also went a little bit low here to prove this about the lead attorney's professional office.
But I also talked to my good friend Durante Partridge, who's an attorney in Atlanta, who stopped by lead attorney's office, and we have pictures of this, only to find that he operated out of a trap house in Atlanta that has
heard
burglar
about
bars.
that.
Yeah, it's a trap house, burglar bars on the front door. It's a commercial mail place. I mean, this guy is, he's had the whole world fooled, right?
Yeah.
No staff.
So again, he's talking about this is where the lead attorney's office is, which doesn't matter because you've already said that he is an inactive lawyer. His license is inactive. So showing where this trap house is that he receives mail is completely irrelevant. It doesn't really matter to me, but sure, you got it, right? But here is the biggest issue that Derek Dion makes.
Okay, that was awkward right there. Now, I said that to show you a point. Tampon and lead ass law, it's another punk ass attorney that I'm gonna bring him up later on. But lead ass law was very, very proud of his relationship with Kevin Samuels. He told me that he was a very close friend of Kevin Samuels. I'll just put it like that.
So remember, he just did something terrible. I'm gonna explain why. Here he says, so when he reached out to me, I said, hey, I need to speak to Cory first to see if I'm clear to speak about this. I ultimately learned that he had been in your circle. You talked to him, you were good friends. I'm like, okay. And he's telling me that, hey, I want to support Cory. Oh, I'm clear for that. You're a good guy. You've been on the show. Cory is a very busy man. I'm a very busy man. You have to go through the ranks to get to Cory sometimes, right? All of this is bullshit and lies. So no, Cory did not clearly talk to him, but at the same time, this guy is saying he's a friendly guy and he's saying he's here to support Cory. And I know what to say on a lawyer show and what not to say. And if anything, I'm just going to say I'm going to help Cory. So I didn't think it was a big deal. This is where the problem comes in. So if you're a lawyer, okay, you make a decision to go and talk about a case to somebody else because you can. That is not consistent with what we see in these messages, okay? Derek Dion on January 28th, after the lead attorney messages him, good day, counselor, and great hearing from you. Let me check with Cory and I will follow up with you, all right? Now, look at this. At January 29 at 9:48 p.m., at least the time, that's it. It's an 18-hour and 18-minute difference. So if you didn't have to check with Cory, why didn't you just say, oh, I can do it right now? It's fine. You said, let me check with Cory and I will follow up with you, okay? That's not what he said. I ultimately learned that he had been on your show. So what he said, you talked to him, you were good friends. I'm like, okay. And he's telling me that. hey, I want to support Cory. Oh, I'm clear for that. You're a good guy. You've been on the show. Cory's a very busy man. I'm a very busy man. You have to get to the ranks to get to Cory sometimes. What does that got to do? Because right now you're acting as the gatekeeper. Okay? So now what you're saying is, oh, well, you got to go through the ranks. So basically what I'm going to do as an attorney, I'm going to make the decision to talk to you even if the client doesn't want me to. So then that means you're not operating as a good attorney. But that's not what these messages said. These messages said that you were operating as a good attorney because you said and did what a lawyer is supposed to do. Good day, counselor, and great hearing from you. Let me check with Cory and I will follow up with you, which is what you did. You followed up with Cory, and then Cory told you, I'm cleared to speak with you. And the reason why we know that is because it took you 18 hours. You said, I'm cleared to speak with you after you followed up with Cory. That's exactly what happened. You talked to Cory. Cory said, yes, you're good to go, right? Otherwise, you would have just made the decision to speak with him right then and there. Then he says, I'm clear to speak with you. The earliest time we can record, to prepare to record, is this time, at any time this weekend, with evenings preferred. You then give him, this is my law firm email and my direct cell number is this. So then why didn't you give him this up front if you were already clear? The guy is not telling the truth. The guy is protecting Cory. He just incriminated his own self as an attorney. And again, I don't have any issue with Derek Dion. But what Derek Dion tried to do, instead of addressing the lie, which he failed, he wanted to deal with the lead attorney's trap house office, the fact that his license is no longer good or not there. And then Cory Holcomb tried to pin a sexual relationship between Kevin Samuels and the lead attorney, which is completely false. And for a lawyer to come on there and then try to dox somebody, oh, this is his real name, this is who he is, it's just weak. In my honest opinion, what it shows me is that Mr. Derek Dion had no real answer for the emails or the messages that were exchanged between him and the lead attorney. So this was a way to try to go around the fact that he had no way out of the fact that Cory Holcomb gave him the ability to be clear with him. And then Cory Holcomb came on and lied about it. And the reason why the lead attorney had to come to the internet with all this information is because Cory Holcomb called him a liar. So now that he proved that he was telling the truth, now these guys are covering territory, trying to make up for the lie, which is making them cover more territory. And to be honest, it's making Derek Dion cause more mistakes. Derek Dion did the right thing, and Cory Holcomb tried to switch it up and lied. And so now Derek Dion is covering for him. So guys, what do you think? It's your boy Yoshi Jackson back at it again. Another episode of The Celebrity Drunk. Appreciate you for all that you do. Subscribe to the bell. We're out.